unalive. Now, we got the dreadful times of white America. Now, I want to dive into this because America, especially North America, have entered into a time that was predicted, you see, by the prophet Moses and the prophet between him and Jesus. In the 24th chapter of Matthew, you see that there's a prophecy is being made present to this present time of America without mentioning her name. He referred to the country as a world because this part, you see, there is referred to in many places by the prophet and by Jesus himself as a wilderness. The name, you see, America, is not yet 500 years old. So the prophet referred to it as a wilderness and a prophecy. It is terrific. I use the word terrible because not a thing that can be described as something mild or something that is moving slowly, nor something that can be recognized so easily by the common people. It is clear to all who can see that America has reached the stage about which she has always have been warned. She always have wanted to keep it a secret because of her so-called Negro slave. See, why is it you got one minority group prosper and the other groups can't prosper? See, she never desired for the slave to know too much of what was in store for her because of enslaving and mistreating her slave. She had reared them for the past 400 years. And she knows them. And she knows how they think and how they react to her teachings. And she knows the fear of her. And she knows the slave. But the slave do not know America, their slave master. See, the great, dreadful, and awful day's doom is now in the doors. We see in the windows of America and of the church, the religion of America. See, as long as Christianity works, America thought she was safe because it is one of the most deceiving and upright, misleading religions of the world. See, Allah God taught me if we carefully examine everything in this religion of Christianity, it's designed to make slave out of black people today. See, if Christianity was a red rag and wrung out, see, every drop of right slavery for the black man. See, the world knows this now, but the spiritually blind, deaf, dumb American so-called Negro, to whom I'm calling and appealing to reason. I'm calling them to reason with me on the truth and their own starvation that is now true of self and kind, an enemy of self. There will not be an end to the Caucasus between black and white in America and throughout the world until wrong, evil, murdering, deceiving, and robbing the poor black man of their is destroyed and righteousness and justice is practiced. See, they hate hearing this truth today, but the truth will only I'm going to say because the truth will set you free. And America wish to oppose Allah God in this work of bringing this justice and freedom. to a one slave. But this is just where Allah God wants. He wants America to attack him to get the fight started and to bring his judgment against her with the fullness of his strength and powers. See, when you think the wicked are mightier than God, when you think the wicked can thwart his plan until he comes, who right it is to rule, see, never no more will this earth, nor the heaven and earth, be let out to these non-owners. See, the land, sea, air is controlled by God. You see, and America is bringing about this political gloom. See, here, politicians are unable to carve out a future for America. To the plans of deceiving the so-called Negro politicians to work against their own freedom, justice, and equality, starvation that Allah God has brought to them, is making the so-called Negro in high office become the enemy of his own people, freedom, justice, and equality. Such office are held out as a bribe to get black politicians to work against the spread of the truth of their starvation. They are happy and their boss knows that they have a place near him in such office just for the purpose of trying to oppose Allah and his messengers and freeing the poor black man who is in this mud today. This is causing the political confusion and complete destruction of the house divided against itself. I'm asking in the name of Allah that the American governments agree on the separation of our one slave and a slave master. Of course, Allah God is significant. We want a home on this earth. We can call home. We do not want to be slave anymore to white people. We do not want to be free Uncle Tom for white people. We want to do something for self and go for self. However, America with her blind, deaf, dumb politician and class of the so-called will bring a swift destruction upon their heads, along with the doom that is inevitable against the enemy. It is not, my brothers and sisters, 20 years in the future, nor 15 years. Let no one deceive you. It is here at our doors now. The dreadful pledges, confusion of America are beginning to boil. The few making it boil will not creed until it boils down to the last of the dregs. The present promise of a better future that white America is making to the so-called nigger will prove to be false. And all of the false promises we see today to the American so-called Negro will be short lives by both, because the time, brothers and sisters, of her doom has approached it. White America will have to do a marvelous thing of justice, a square deal to turn it back around. A fasting show of tempting Negro to filth and evil will not work today. It takes justice to work to postpone the dreadful days of America. America lost a war. Friendship is speeding her doom because no one wants to sit with her. See, this is why Trump is putting terrorists right in the Middle East, because no one wants to sit with her. The people over there will stand for her because they will see America burn with fire. See, this is why I tell you, America is cursed. A divine action is taking place right in front of our eyes. See, there will be the lube before the storm. And I'm afraid for you that you will receive what the people before you did receive. You see, Allah, God, is very angry with white America and the trick-analogy that she used on the dead to keep him dead today. You are very disappointed to Allah, God, and to the original black man who knows himself. Yes, a very few, of course. The false show of a glorious future that the wicked is put on, we see is at hand. We must remember Daniel prophecy that at the end of the war, desolation are determined. Before this happened, Allah God will bless the people with a good time, as he did the people of the past who wronged themselves, who did not pay attention to the prophet warning amongst them. Allah God destroyed them. They thought that they were fooling Allah God, but Allah God surprised them. He made the people rejoice for a short time with a show of great prosperity. And at the height of their great prosperity, suddenly he destroys them. This is the merciful law Allah has put in nature. Allah God let a dying person rally before the end. See, why America is going to do the same. See, America will rally, and people will think that she's going to have a great future. And then the end will come. And that kind of time, my brothers and sisters. You see, white American end will not come while she's going around with her head hanging down and with her heart itching and failing because of the things that we see today, brothers and sisters, that are coming on her nation. No, she will be made to enjoy good times. We see the stock markets are going up and lots of shares being sold. See, this make any man think that everything is all right. But this is only the lube before the storms. And the Bible warns America what happened before her. See, ancient Babylon enjoyed a full ruling position at her time. But King Darius came against her at the time of her full enjoyment of wealth and drunkenness, and her laughing at the slave that she had made of Israel. King Darius came with his army and overcame the sleeping guards who were sleeping on the security of their life. The Bible prophesies that the enemy would say, "Come, let us go up and destroy her whose cities is not fenced in." They will come from afar. They may come at noonday, or they may come at the rising, in the morning or in the afternoon. But nevertheless, will come at a time that you thought not. And after the war, and into the end of the war, desolations are determined, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. See the Bible, Daniel 9:26 and 27. I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that that which will be poor means it is the vibration of your America. If you're ever getting back power again to attack the nations of the earth. See, Europe will become one of the worst war areas of all the worlds. More dreadful than Vietnam. Other places that you are planning on going into. See, Asia will look like child's play when compared to what is going to happen to Europe. The prophet says, "Whom to the land that's shallow with wings." This means America, whose skies is filled with planes. Most or all of the judgment and trouble which are pointed at in the Bible are pointed at America. Study them for yourself. You see, America right up to today, with all of her battles and with her outside enemy, never loses sight of the inside of a poor old black slave. She does not want him to do anything. She wants him to be deceived. She does not want him to accept his starvation. The Allah God is offering the black one slave here in America. Allah God is offering the black one slave heaven at once. This he has proven to everyone that believes in Allah God and follow me. I am the door. By no means can you get by except you come by me. Prayers will not be heard unless my name is mentioned in them. I'm saying that you cannot get a prayer through Allah God unless you mention me in your prayers. Try it and see it. I'm satisfied that those who know this will bear me witness. I had the keys to your starvation. I had the keys to your hell. I can if you just let me pull you out of hell and set you into heaven. Then I can keep you in heaven. Or I can keep pushing and push you into the punishment of hell. Till you acknowledge that there is no God but Allah. Came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. And that Elijah Muhammad is his servant. There is no escape for you today. The only way is through me, is through Allah God. Me first, for you cannot get to Allah God without getting to me first. The deluge before the storm. America is trying with all of her might to hinder you from getting into heaven. See, America makes promises to you. She makes promises to me, but she does not intend to fulfill them. You see, some of America's financial people promise to loan us millions of dollars, but when it comes time to do so, they vanish. But a day will come when we will be able to do the same things to them. It is entirely up to them to make good of this day for themselves and their people by submitting to the truth themselves. As the Bible says, the Gentiles shall come to the light of your rising. America wants to destroy God and me. She wants to destroy you by deceiving you against following me. America lift up all my hypocrites and advise you to follow them, while she knows that you will be the losers. Look what she had done for Malcolm. See, America named universities after him in order for you to follow Malcolm. Malcolm turned from Allah God and me and started to follow them. America will lift up any one of you that will disobey Allah God and myself and come to them. You see how they are doing. Everyone that's a hypocrite to Allah God and me, America will raise him up for you to follow. America will glorify his name. See, Malcolm was no lover of white people. He only lies to them in order to get a chance to fight me. But he was not a lover of them. See, Malcolm was a double crosser. He tried to get to me with the help, as it is written and prophesied that he would do. His name is not written there in the name of Malcolm. In history, another name is used, but his work is there in the history of the hypocrites and the life of Muhammad. He tried to take advantage while Muhammad was sick. You find this in the writing of Washington Irving, and even some scientists, writers of Islam. They can tell you Malcolm history. But the enemy fools you. He did not like Malcolm, but with Malcolm working against me, he used Malcolm. He knew that Malcolm had learned the history of me, and that he was not able to change it. And even if the enemy will glorify them, they will come to it nothing. For the time as a ruling power over black people was up, they knew that better than Malcolm did. They set up for worship all hypocrites against me. Suppose we would worship China and Russia against them, but we do not worship them. For Allah God is most significant, more significant than all their nations. Allah God does not see them as a power and force against him. They are so little and weak in their powers. They cannot fight against Allah God and win. The more you fight against Allah God, the more you will lose yourself. from the Bible and from this chapter. From now on, if you do not know that he is tricking you, but making you to follow hypocrites, it is your doom. Just watch it. He trusts me. He goes down to Bahamas and everywhere that he thinks that I'm going or where I have been. This is written. See, I do not fault him for doing what is written of him. I try to do that which is written of me. I do not fault him for what he is made by nature to do. Nor should he fault me for what by nature I am. But I fault you. We let this little transaction of this life, an enemy, deprive of a great future for yourself. We can buy hospitals and place to educate and train our people into the superior education of the nation of the earth. But you'd rather give your money over to white America and let them spend it on what they want to. And they pay you a little interest. We offer interest too. The highest of interest. But you do not trust us. So we will build right along without your help. We are going to be the winners. It is prophesied that we who believe will be the winners. A work that was prophesied in me before I was born, you see it today. Try and find a successful one who is working in opposition to me. None of you who are trying to aid the devil against me will be successful in doing so. And the devil knows that. He's not trying to do these things himself, only with you. He knows that he will not be successful in stopping my progress, not him, nor several times his number. As long as I'm with Allah God, and he is with me, and that will be all the days of my life, fire fed with food. This chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, Surah 85, verse 5. We do not hope for peace as long as we add to the war that which serve as a fuel to a fire. The fire cannot go out as long as we keep it burning by adding more fuel. A dying burn fire is increased when more fuel is thrown into it. There are lots of people who are so anxious for peace so that they can return to committing that which they lack in love, idling, sport, and play. To the world that we live in desire, first of all, to hide that truth, to keep this black man who was made blind, deaf, and dumb by the scientific trigonometry of the right race, so that the right race can continue to carry on the same deceiving and wickedness that they have been practicing. How can we expect peace where the method used to bring about peace is the same method that started the war? Instead of finding a right solution and then practicing the right solution. I said these things for the sake of my own black people, for they are so ignorant to the knowledge of the truth of the time in which we are living. What they would like to do cannot be done. The time to even continue to do what you are doing is up. You must remember again the prediction of the Bible. It has foretold these times. But we understand the Bible. It must certainly teach us that there is no peace for the wicked. There is no people who preach such a thing as peace and as being true followers of the prophet Jesus as much as the white Christians do. See, day and night, brothers and sisters, the airways are full of their preaching. To hear them, you would think that they are the prophet Moses and Aaron. As the word Jesus put it, they sat in Moses' seat. See, the white Christians are great deceivers. So the Pope of Rome cannot bring peace to the Christian church, for he is not enjoying peace himself. So who is that people then? The Bible prophesies of in the book of Isaiah that he will extend peace to them like rivers. Surely it cannot be the present Christian right race, for they are the ones who are breaking the peace today. See, fire fed with feud. See, leaving your own home and country. See, go to another man's home and country to make trouble for that people. And then accuse that people of being the troublemakers. It is the attacker who is guilty of that which follows the attack. I said to you, black people, you can get away from that old misunderstanding of the time. You are not living the time in which you may be inspecting a settlement of the war that will give you what you have always been used to: sport, play, and foolishness. Actually, now is the time that you and I should be wise enough to understand that we should think for self and do for self. If we do not know how to do for self, you shall follow the man to whom Allah God has given that knowledge to teach you how to do for self. With the ocean filled, with the fleets of the right Christians, and the skies crowded with their death-dealing planes over other people's territories, could you tell them that they should submit to you for peace if you're able to force them to their knees or to destroy them? Then I said yes. If that was the situation, then I would say that they should submit and let you trumpet. But you cannot force them, my brothers and sisters, to their knees. I have been warning you, they have been preparing for a war like this for nearly a century. Or what I should say, they have been preparing and working faithfully for half a century to entertain the attacker with the same type of weapons and better weapons than the weapons you are attacking them with. If you resort to worse weapons, they have worse weapons also. So we are in a time when the arguments to the country of peace is like heaping fuel on the fire. It keeps it burning. We are living in an evil time. I believe, and maybe many hundreds of thousands believe as I do, that the President of the United States of America have good intentions towards the citizens of America when he took over the presidency. But the times against him for the past 4,000 years and more, Allah God has already given a prophecy through the mouth of his prophets of the doom of the wicked. Now is the time. We cannot do anything but take it. It's dangerous to add fuel to unwanted fire. The fire is the war. You see, man, heart, feeling, and fear. With that Texas flood, they never seen rain like that. A powerful system that came in, and it was getting 10-inch of rain, there. And the inch just continued to increase. You know, just another 2 hours, you seen it went 26-inch. People was looking out their window. They never seen rain like that. Picture in the days of Noah, it rained up to 40 days, 40 nights. They never seen rain like that. And I'm gonna say something, y'all. Those glaciers is melting on down, and it's causing sea levels to rise to in Fahrenheit. Now, Jesus fulfilled a prophecy that man's heart will be filling in fear. Now, how true the prophecy Jesus says in Luke 21 and 25 and 26 concerning the present time. We bear witness that the seas and waves are whirling And that fear is now covering the nation as shown by unusual hearts, failures that is now occurring amongst man. These are the signs of the end of the present world. You see, the seas and ocean are heaving up tidal waves to an unimaginable height that man has never witnessed before on earth. This is another pledge that's upon the wicked, since the Holy Quran teach that the judgment will be such that the earth itself will act as though revelation has been revealed to it because of its perfect obedience to the laws of Allah on that day. See, Allah will use the power that is in the earth and the sea against the world evil. See, the white race, my brothers and sisters, think today that they still have the power of the land, sea, and ocean. See, the white race think that they have control of the power of the earth, sea, and air. See, it was prophesied that for a time they would subdue and have the use of the power of the sea and ocean until he comes who right it is to rule. See, the heaven and earth belongs to Allah God. Now it is his time to rule. There is much prophecy concerning the terribleness of the judgment of the wicked. So the power that's in the water is in the hand of Allah God to use against whom he pleases. The earth, the wind, rain, snow, and earthquakes, and ice, and fire are controlled by Allah God. It is a fearful sight to see the displays of his power with the force of nation, bowing and submitting to his will. I shall warn you that this is now coming into action against the Western world. There will be the destruction of whole fleets at seas, those which are capable of lying on the ocean and sea. Babylon will be destroyed. The die is set. If a foolish people who, like in the time of Noah, did not see the sign of the rain, bringing on the flood, even that the cloud began to darken the sky, they did not see the oncoming rain until it actually started to rain. So it is with white America. They pay no attention today to the sign of the judgment that is now taking place. As the Bible prophesies, we see in Revelation 16:9, they blaspheme the name of God, which has power over these pleasures. How many in America, in the city of Chicago, disbelieve, even mock, and swear at the name of Allah, who have power over the force of nature, land, sea, and air. Allah God is now doing as is prophesied it. The Holy Quran, Surah 13:41, visiting the land, curtaining it of its sides. The foolish still are foolish until he is cast to that narrow place and cannot turn to the left or right as it was. The donkey that Balaam was right. He came to a narrow place between two walls. He could not turn around and have to stop face to face with angels or be destroyed. The Bible, Numbers 22 and 23 and 26. Let it be remembered that Allah God came forth for redemption to deliver the American black people from their tormentors, whether we like it or not. He would do this. This is the work of Allah God, which is in effect. Let America use the power that she has, and let her continue to use the history of the fall and destruction of ancient Egypt we see in her Pharaoh. Let the history serve as a warning today as we see. They were brought to nothing for the evil done to a people whom Allah God has chosen for example. In these last days, the lost found, black slave, and their slave masters. The Holy Quran, Surah 30:41, is perfectly true in its prediction of a present day nation, sea, and land power. Corruption has appeared in the land and the sea on account of that which man's hands has made. The most grave mistake that the black man is making today is just trying to hold on to the brief return of Jesus, or that he lived and preached the saving of the white man's world. This is false. Jesus did not preach this. Jesus had a few disciples. See, Jesus also cursed the Jews, not to mention that he was trying to save them or the Caucasian people. They are teaching a trickology today that the white man used to deceive the black man. They do this so that our people would not understand that Jesus declared himself against the world of the Caucasian race. The Bible, he also declared that the words of truth had no place in the right race of people. They have proved this to be the truth by the mistreatment of you and me. The white race had never worshipped any prophets before or after Jesus as the divine man of Allah God. It's against their very nature to do this. That is why they kill all the prophets that they are able to kill. They deceive the people against believing in the prophets of Allah God, for they was made in their nature to be the enemies of God and his representatives. Before the time is out, they'll be forced into submission to the will of God. This will not be done for the purpose of converting the right race. Allah God will force them to submission, prove that he is able to make everything bow to him in submission. This is in a fulfillment to the prophecy, the Bible, Isaiah 45, verse 23, and to me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. The Bible says, Matthew 25:32, before him shall we gather all nations. Holy Quran has a similar prophecy that you shall see all nations kneeling before him. This includes everybody, regardless to their color. Everything in the universe obey the natural laws, which it was made subject to by Allah, God. On the coming of Allah, God, he will now make everything bow to him, where you believe or disbelieve it. The Holy Quran, Surah, chapter 382, does not make a difference to him whether you are the devil or the righteous. All must bow in submission to the will of Allah God on the judgment day. We are now living in the days of judgment. Black preachers, you will waste your time and lead yourself and those who follow you to hell by holding on to Christianity. Revelation 19:20. You cannot keep them in Christianity. Christianity was not the religion of Jesus, Moses, or any other prophet who came before them. It would have been a fierce on the part of Allah God to have waited until just 2,000 years ago to give the right religion to the world of man. Allah God gave the right religion, Islam, and the beginning of his creation of the heavens and earth. Allah God has not changed. His religion is Islam, entire submission to his will. Now, why are the nation angry today? Who are the nation that are angry at the resurrection of the dead? The 18th verse we see of the 11th chapter of this Revelation. And the Bible plainly teaches us that these nations are angry and mad because of the rise of the dead, and that God Himself was the source of the power behind the resurrection of a rise of a mentally dead people, the black man. So why America angry? Because the black men are rising into the knowledge of themselves. See, the resurrection means that we, as a black people, will rise. From a mental death. So you gotta realize who we are. Understand who this devil is. And understand a beast that he is. And like Joseph, when you was once free in the land, when you was once a slave. You see. Now, the 18th verse to this 11th chapter of this Revelation, and the Bible plainly teach us that these nations are angry and mad because of the rise of the dead. God Himself was the source of the power behind the resurrection of a rise of a mentally dead people, the black man. It is these slave holders who have been the real cause of a mental death of the people. The revelation relates to as being deprived of justice. God has come to give them justice, to justify them as being equal to their slave masters as human beings. As you know, from the 400 years of legal slavery and free slavery of the American so-called Negro, they have never been recognized even as a human being. As one devil says, they are only 3/5 of a human being. It is true that the history of our treatments by the devil's slave master practically made our parents and ourselves less than human beings. This is why I teach that the main right we should seek first are human rights. The American so-called Negro flew in love with his slave master and his slave master children because the unlike attracted them and their brothers in Africa. Therefore, the manifestation of the enemy, the devil, and the resurrection makes the dead to see that which caused them to be mentally dead. In the parable of the donkey who piled out meeting with the angels, he saw that the burden he had been carrying on his back was false. Balaam soul and the resurrection of a mentally dead so-called Negro. They are rising to a knowledge of self. This knowledge make them refuse to continue to carry the slave master as something to worship. They have angered their slave master as the donkey refused to anger Balaam. Balaam set about whooping and beating the donkey to force him, as unusual, to carry and respect him as his master. This use of force to compel the one slave, the black American, retain with them even now in order to make them members of society is only false recognition of the black Americans. This loss the now found people of the black nation of Asia and Africa. This continuous cruelty by this white slave master inflicted upon the American so-called Negro have angered God as the cruelty the Egyptians inflicted upon the Israelites during the time of Pharaoh angered Jehovah. This is a repetition of Israel history and of Pharaoh evil in these modern times. The appearancy of Jehovah and of Moses, the servants of Jehovah, to announce to Pharaoh the end of Israel's slavery. Pharaoh became angry and went to work and tried to obstruct and bring to nothing Jehovah's delivery of Israel through his servant Moses. This brought Pharaoh to his end, and he and his army was cast into the Red Sea because they tried to prevent the freeing of Israel by the God Jehovah. The angry nation refers to white American and European who was also in slavery, of the black man. Take, for instance, the part that England, Germany, France, and Italy had all played in enslavement of black Africans and black people throughout Africa, Asia, here in America, North and South America. There is no such thing in the nature of white people as justice and freedom for black people, especially not for blacks and the Western hemisphere. Now their anger is running them mad and they are attacking and killing each other. There is no such thing as peace amongst them, nor can they produce peace for others. Holy Quran refers to this condition as the kind of hell. Chapter 81, verse 12. Never before have you witnessed the evil that is spreading far and wide, every hour of the day in America and Europe. England, America being not the first, but the chief slave makers of black people, dislike the idea of having Allah dispose of their power over the Negro, though they knew this was coming, the loss of their slaves. This is the time of increase of knowledge. God has given the black man of America more light into this increase of divine knowledge than any black elsewhere, because he chose to make for himself a great nation out of the former slaves of America. Why America is angry at God for resurrecting the black slave to acknowledge itself and the slave master. This means that they are entering into a war with Almighty God Allah to try to oppose the truth of God preached by the messenger of God. Read the second Psalms, the great commotions. We see the great commotion of the governments and people of America, the civil unrest, insurrection, mental excitement, and noisy confusion. There is no action that is being taken, nor can there be any action taken that will bring the people into a better condition of civil actions. The white American people have practiced evil and injustice to the man in the mud, the black slave, for so long that they think that there will never be any divine action taken against them for such evil and injustice. But this is what is now affecting. It is the action of divine justice for the poor man, the black slave. Allah God and the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, has the power, and he's using his power on the wicked to bring them to their knees. Allah God is the greatest. There is no equal to him. Allah God can take us by our own way of thinking and spin us as though we are a play toy. Cannot fight a successful fight against him. He's too powerful. He listens in on our thinking. He is capable of making us to think and to do that which he desired to be done. The great commotion today is witnessed it by the nation of the earth. For it is white America whom Allah God is after for mistreatment of the poor so-called Negro, the law-found original black members of the nation. America mistreat and kill her black one slave for sport. But white America days is drawing to a close, and she will not have the freedom to mistreat the black one slave much longer. As the mistreatment we see of the Egyptian practice against Israel came to an end, so will this mistreatment of the black slave by white America comes to an end. White America has so blinded and made deaf dumb the black man of America, her black slave, that she makes empty promises to the black slave, and he will accept her false promises and forsake the true promises of Allah God. and the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, who is here offering us heaven at once. The great commotion will continue in white America until this commotion has destroyed the power of opposition. The disaster. The title of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, Surah 101, 1 through 4. The disaster. What is the disaster? And what would make you know how terrible is this disaster? In the English language, according to the Webster Dictionary, the word disaster means a state of deep distress, misery caused by major misfortune or loss, or a great event marked by great loss and lasting distress and affliction. Such disaster is now prevailing in America. It is getting worse daily. The third verse of this chapter of the Holy Quran, Surah 101, verse 3, asks a question. Will make you know how terrible is the disaster. Answer is given in the fourth verse. The day wherein men will be as scattered moths. We do not have to ask anyone whether or not this one of the Holy Quran is now being fulfilled. We see the fulfillment of this prophecy with our eyes and hear with our ears. These great disasters that are now striking America. We see the great division, the great disagreement, disunity, and murder of man. We see the great amount of raping and murdering of girls and women. There is great robbery and thief going on every hour of the day and night. There are great storms and adverse weather conditions. There are minor earth tremors and hailstorms. There are signs and wonders of signs being displayed in the heaven and earth, on sea, land. There is unusual behavior of children. There is unusual love or dislike of children by mothers and fathers, and destruction of the process of childbirth. There is the great disaster of starvation and great destruction of health and life by the use and administering of poison drugs, which is practiced upon those who are free and those who are bound, but had been known as America is threatened it today with total destruction. While America is destroying herself in her effort to destroy her black slaves, the water and air of America are being polluted by chemical use. America's Scientists of War conducts dreadful experiments on how best to kill human beings by the millions and wipe out life of whole continents. You know, that COVID vaccine, they want to put that microchip in you to keep tab on you. See, say got to keep tab on you. See, I read this again. America's Scientists of Wars now conduct dreadful experiments on how best to kill human beings by the millions and wipe out life of a whole continent. Haven't they done that? The last COVID, Anthony Fauci killing millions. You see, America's Scientists of Wars conduct dreadful experiments now on how best to kill human beings by the millions now and wipe out the life of whole continents. See, these are the days of fulfillment of prophecy of not one, but of many disasters. But in all of these preparations of destruction of human life by the devil, we see Allah God too has planned to save his people. Allah God has claimed over the black slave as being his people. The white slaveholders, you see, is angry because of the loss of the black slave by the virtue of this claim. Allah God comes to take the black slave away from an enemy, white slaveholders, and join the black slave into his own kind again. The enemy white slaveholders hate this, but Allah God has the power to force the enemy white slaveholders to submit to his will. It is the will of Allah God that the enemy white slaveholders let these black slaves go free now. Allah God promised concerning these white slaveholders and a black slave, Isaiah 43, verse 6. I will say to the north, give up. To the south, keep not back. See, bring my son from afar, my daughter from the end of the earth. White America, since Allah God has now claimed the black slave, giving him the truth, Allah God has called the black slave who accepted truth by his name. The black slave who has accepted the truth of his greatness and being one of the righteous nations of his kind belong to Allah God. The book must be fulfilled wherein it prophesies that he will claim them to be his own elect. At such time as the destruction of America, for Allah God has not chosen some of the people of America, the black slave, to be his people. There will not have been any flesh saved from America. And the Bible, Mark 13:20, teach us, except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh will be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he has chosen, he has shortened the days. The black slave must know that this is the time of the judgment of both the white slaveholders and the black slave. The black slave must learn to know his place in the judgment. The place of the black slave is with Allah God and his own black people. The black slave have not been deprived of knowledge of his God and his own black people. Allah God has come and has brought the black slave the truth. If the black slave refused to accept the truth, he will be destroyed for willingly and knowingly rejecting the truth when the truth have come and its millers. Disaster, disaster in the country of white America. No secret can remain hidden. For the chastisement of Allah God will not let you hide it. As one writer prophesies, we see in the book of Isaiah 18, verse 1, whom to the land shadow it rings. This prophecy is referring to America, which have a cloud of planes shadowing the skies over America almost daily. Can America exist? We see this coming of this white man to the Western hemisphere was for the purpose of expansion away from his brethren in Europe. See, Europe was divinely given to the white race as a home when it was driven out of Arabia 6,000 years ago to abide there on that continent until the days of reckoning comes to them. These are the days of reckoning for the white race, as the religious scholars and scientists agree. But because of their nature, evil, they cannot help doing evil things against the righteous. They make war against the righteous, the black man, to prevent him from accepting righteousness and the doing of righteousness. Today, the black man in America is a prey into the strong, powerful hands of his enemy, the children of their slave masters, the devils. For 400 years, the slave master had mistreated the slave. And now, in the days of their redemption, they are doing everything possible to save them from accepting their starvation. That Allah now offers to the black man of America. So strong is Allah, God's love for us, that he now desires nothing but a total destruction of white America. See, they hate me today, my brothers and sisters, with a bloody hatred. And they tried to kill me for teaching the truth to my people. They do not want this black man of America to enjoy freedom, justice, and equality. Look what they did to Reverend Martin Luther King, a man who was trying to be their brother now. A man who probably thought that he did not want to draw now the white man's blood. He said if there was any blood to be spilled, let it be the black man's blood. His words came true. Poor man. He was without the knowledge of self, his God, and religion. So fear with fear of his 400-year-old enemy that he would never get starvation from his people, from the enemy. America had been blessed ever since our fathers came across the Atlantic out of the confines of Europe until this day. Now, for evil done to her slave, God threatened her with total destruction. America and Germany are the most evil of the white race. These two governments have been blessed, but they have not shown any worthwhile respect to Allah for his blessings. Allah calls people out of all nations of the earth to come to America. They came seeking a heaven and earth, but those came was evil too. As Revelation language teach us, Revelation 18 verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, America, the great is falling, and become the habitation of devils, a whore of every foul spirit, and a cage to every unclean and hateful bird. There is no people nor country on earth who will fulfill this prophecy better than America and her people. She had become a house filled with evil practice, and every member of the nation taking part. Yet she had been blessed with her great harvest of food, which is enough to feed the nation of the earth, with her great advancements into the heights of her mechanical knowledge, of her great wealth in silver and gold that enabled her once upon a time to command the value of silver and gold of the world. But as it is written on all of this growing up of wealth and power, the act of justice was laid at the roots of this great tree of prosperity and authority of the nation of the earth, to be used by the Holy One to put a stop to their evil practice and injustice to the righteous. America has prospered from the labor of her black slave. She pays this black man high wages and salaries and then take them back from him to the high cost of living. This high cost of living or trying to live according to the way a white man lives, keep this black man down. And when he has inquired the education of the white man, is unable to complete with this white man, he becomes dissatisfied to the degree of creating trouble to find a way to self-prosperity against the will of the white man, which is to keep this black man in a condition of poverty, disregard as equal human beings. Yet, while the white man teaches that all human beings are created accordingly, at the same time, he robs this black man of a chance to be the equal of other human beings. Can America exist with all of her wicked doing against this black man America in a state of inequality with other human beings? The continued existence of white America in a way of governments and power over people other than her own depends on the way she will continue to treat her one slave, the black people of America, due to the prophecy of the Bible from Moses to Jesus and Muhammad. The prophecy saying that these prophets teach us that the coming showdown between Allah God and the slaveholders of his people, black America, must come to pass. The time has arrived of this prophecy of defender coming to defend the prey, so-called who is held in bondage by the white slaveholders, who have and are still mistreating the prey to the extent that the world is in sympathy with the prey for justice. Now it's prophesied that a just ruler will come. He has come to set up a rule, a kingdom under laws of justice. For people who have lived under laws of injustice by unjust rulers, this must be fulfilled. The next government for the people of the university is going to be under such a glorious rule of freedom, justice, and equality. It is natural that the old ruler will oppose a new ruler coming to remove him and his authorities to rule the people. Will fight to keep his place and authorities over the people. This is why Allah threatened his opponents with the final declaration of war that will end the opponent's opposition to his laws of righteousness. I have been writing for many years of the coming doom of this world of Christianity, mainly America, who is the root and cause of this present judgment of America. The judgment of America is due to the way that she has treated the so-called Negro, the black people of America for 400 years. The very hour in which I'm writing, America is still mistreating her one slave with the worst kind of treatment ever according to human beings. America practiced the way of her father's mistreatment of the American so-called Negro under what she called a law of freedom, but this freedom is only words, not in practice. The slave master's children's blood heart and way of thinking towards the one slave is the same as their father's. They find it so free to beat and kill the one slave, so-called Negro at will, that they will continue to practice of mistreating and murdering the slave day and night because there is no law of justice for the black man of America, who is the property of the fathers of American white citizens. America never think in terms of being equally punished for the wrong done to a so-called Negro. The Bible parable of Balaam riding that donkey must be remembered. When angels went to settle the unjust mistreatment of the donkey by Balaam, the angel found Balaam still beaten and forcing the donkey and carried him right in the presence of the visiting angel who was carrying a sword to bring about the justice between the two. It is almost impossible to say that white America can exist. If white America is to exist, white America rule in power, it will make prophets of the Bible, even the Holy Quran, prophesize other than the truth. It is impossible to make them outliers who wrote the doom of a race that will come at a certain time, and that certain time is now known. Time can be prolonged if the great Messiah that the world had been looking for to come for 2,000 years desire, where he does that what he please. This does that means that he would change the idea of the doom and destruction of white America. But if he pleased, he could have extended her time if she had done almost a marvelous thing like submitting to the righteousness taught and delivered to a mental dead slave, the so-called Negro. This is the only way white America can exist, by bowing in submission to the will of God taught by his messengers. The time that we are now in is a time of the anger of God against these evildoers. It is a time that the God of righteousness rejoices to repay the evildoers and for their doing, and to reward the righteous for their righteousness. Therefore, to curb this set day of doomed demand for the doing of righteousness, which by nature was not put in these right race of people, but they may yet be smart enough to bow to put a stay to the execution for a few days longer, not by intermixing with her slave to enjoy as long as they are blind, deaf, and dumb, and do not understand. This act only hasten their doom, while the foolish, blind, deaf, dumb, so-called, does not even know that he is being blind, deaf, and dumb to his slaughter. There is no such thing that evil rule peace. Also, the wicked, according to the Bible, we see in Jeremiah and Isaiah, are the ones who have destroyed the peace from amongst men. My advice to this white race is to make haste. Get in a hurry if you want to live. Bow and submit to that great truth and righteousness, the will of Allah. What will be the end of the war? Many of you may think that while America ends a war in Asia, this will bring peace and prosperity. to the people of America. Perhaps someday there may be a lull in the war, but not now. If America and Asia can find a way to bring about peace of the war between each other, this does not mean that peace and prosperity is that shorted. Now, at this time, there's still this Cold War between America and Russia and other parts of Europe to be reckoned with. Europe will become a dreaded spot when America leaves Asia. It is true, as the prophet has predicted, that white America must come out of Asia or be thrown out. Each, America and Russia, the two most powerful war factors of the world, is seeking to maintain their rule over the nation of Earth and even to conquer outer space. See, this will not last long. And a travel investigation into space, Allah God is permitting them to peep into his great unequal creation of power and might, the heavens and earth. The Holy Quran teaches that when Allah God gets ready to destroy people, he opens the door of heavens to them. He gives them a peep into his great wisdom and secrets. But this does not mean that this adds power to an enemy to be able to war against the Creator. See, the reason for all this is due to the fact that Allah God is setting up a kingdom of righteousness, freedom, justice, and equality. Black brothers do not look for high-paying jobs, drawing a big roll of money after the war, unless it's with the help of Allah. God, you prepare this for yourself, which I advise you to do. The most dreadful divine judgment that have ever been witnessed by man are now coming on white America. White America is in a divine target because she could have bettered herself in the divine eyes of Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. But America did not and will not better herself, as it is written and prophesied concerning ancient Babylon and Egypt. You have healed Babylon, but she is not healed today. The Bible, Jeremiah 51, verse 9, because she was not willing to do justice by her captive Jews from Jerusalem. So it was with Pharaoh when Allah Jehovah went after Egypt. The Bible Exodus, see, Pharaoh refused to give justice to Israel and made war against Allah Jehovah and his prophet Moses to prevent Israel from going free of Pharaoh's enslavement of them. The war, America cannot win the victory. It is impossible for America to be the victors in this universal war because of divine intervention against her. Although she have enough deadly materials manufactured to try to win, now can she win against God? She boasts of her materials and being able to destroy the people of Earth 30 times. If she was left free to use her materials, maybe white America could win. But the divine die was set against her long before she ever became America. She can try and boast of her idea of mind to deceive her black slave, but she would deceive herself and them. America is made manifest by Almighty God, the person Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, that she is a total, deadly enemy against her one slave. For many years, I have written that white America's greatest sin is her evil done to her black slave. Allah, God tends to repay her for what she has done. She deceived this black slave right at the point of total destruction. She tried to rule the so-called Negrian today with false temporary promises by offering him high political jobs to keep him from turning his attention to self and kind. Black politicians could and should use this political knowledge to benefit self and kind. White America isolated the messenger of God from their mind with these false promises we see today and make them to hate the messenger of God and to work against him, although the messenger of God is working for the interests of the black slave. The eyes and ears of Allah God are open, looking and listening to their actions. It is not necessary for Allah God to use mechanical devices. Allah God is physically will, and he has will, physical eyes and ears. He is capable of seeing and hearing everything we do and say. He has power to defeat us in our plans, which are against his plans. The American slaveholders want to deceive the so-called The believing that Allah God is not paying attention to them. See, the white man wants them to believe that he is the God today that they should pay attention to. I warn my people who believe an idea that the white man's the God that they should pay attention to will come up the losers. Allah God is backing me up in the work He has given me to do. The work He has given me to do is for your own black starvation. If you think that you have starvation with this white man, then go ahead with him. I'm not here to force you against your own will, but I want you to know that if you are looking to white America for your starvation, you are headed with them to your and their destruction. There is no hope for America to win the war. There is no hope for the black man and the future of white America. For America has no future for itself. She will not be able to win the war. The scholars and scientists knows that America cannot win. It's not just I alone saying this. The scholars and scientists will tell us America cannot win. We know by divine prophecy that America cannot win. If it was just Russia, China, Vietnam, and Korea using judgment on how best to destroy each other, maybe America could win. For she has as much as they have in war, materials, and scientific preparation. America is capable of going out of the earth atmosphere of the earth and to fight them from there. But she will not be able to go out of the atmosphere of the earth and destroy the black man of the earth. It is only a mistake that one should believe in America's ability to build a way station in the air and on the moon, for she will not be able to use it against us. The divine plan is set to destroy her. We have many things out there in space that can be brought into action against America or any other nation today. For Allah God is the greatest. The mother plane. The mother plane was made to destroy this world of evil, to show the wisdom and mighty power of God came to destroy an old world and set up a new world. The nature of a new world is righteousness. The nature of a new world cannot be righteousness as long as unrighteousness is in its midst. The same type of plane was used by the original God to put mountains on this planet. Allah God came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, is wiser than any God before him. As the Bible and Holy Quran teach us, he taught me that this plane will be used to raise mountains on this planet Earth. The mountains that he will put on this earth will not be very high. He will raise these mountains to a height of 1 mile over the United States of America. This reminds us of the prophet prediction at this time of destruction of the old world and the bringing in of a new world. Behold, the Lord makes the earth empty and makes it waste and turn it upside down and scatter abroad the inhabitants thereof. Isaiah 24, verse 1. There are plains in various nations today, but this is the mother of them all now. Why? Because this type of plane was used before the making of this world. Why should God make such a sign of his power to destroy a nation? Because this is the final destruction of that people who have opposed God and his purpose and aim for justice and righteousness. The white race is not a people who was made righteous. It then turned to unrighteousness. It was made unrighteous by the false God who made them. Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, taught me that this plane is capable of reaching a height of 40 miles above the earth. His words could have been a sign meaning 40 years, which the plane will go into action, and not referring actually to 40 miles. Allah God does not speak one word that does not have a meaning. Every word that he speaks has a meaning. The mother plane, according to what has been described by the devil scientists, is capable of not only staying up for a long period of time, but it's also capable of alluring the scientists. They want to attack and destroy it. But if a plane did get close enough to attempt to carry out this purpose, it will be destroyed instead. See, the white men have learned it, that this is not a plane to be played with. planes come out of the mother planes. Now they want to tell you that this is a UAP, a drone. See, planes of this mothership stay up for a very long time. See, other planes come out of this mothership. See, it goes down Earth gravity 40 miles. It can go down Earth. And see, during the 1930s, the Canadians now, newspapers, report that they saw the whale, the mother plane. It came down out of the sky. They admitted that it looked like a great city, and that something came down from it and appears to be a tube, but that tube-like thing went back up again. See, in 1947, the Roswell incident, they report seeing the mother plane. See, this mother plane is here to drop bombs on the city, and it will be the work of the will. So the mothership is here to drop fire and bombs on the city. See, Allah, God came, and the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise or do forever, have taught me that 6 months to the year, the mother plane comes into gravity of this earth. It takes on oxygen and hydrogen in order to prevent it to stay out of the earth gravity until it needs refueling again. So it gets all its ingredients. It gets all its nutrition. See, this plane can desire to go wherever she wants to go. And the white people, they know that this plane today is not to be played with. It's not to be taken lightly. Now, Ezekiel prophesies of the will. Ezekiel saw the mother plane in a vision. According to the Bible, he looked up and saw this plane in Ezekiel 1:16. He called it a will because it was made like a will. A plane that is will shape can turn in any direction at any time. He admitted that the plane was so high that it looks dreadful. And he cried in Ezekiel chapter 10:13, O will. Now, Ezekiel saw great works going on in the will and 4 living creatures. And the work was as it were a will in the middle of a will. Now, Ezekiel 1:16, and when the living creatures went, the will went with them. And when the living creatures was lifted up from earth, the will was lifted up. Ezekiel 1:19. The power of the lifting up of the 4 creatures was in the will. 4 creatures represent the 4 colors of the original people of the earth. There are 5 great powers of the nation of earth. The 5 great powers are the black, brown, red, and yellow are the 4 original powers. The red is not equal power. The vision shows the 4 creatures being lifted up from earth. And when the will was lifted up, they was lifted up. And when the will stood, they stood. This means that they waited upon the movement of the will. Now, I want to tell you about this will, y'all. Why they are coming. And you guys, I want y'all to listen. We see missing children going missing in America. Now, there have been some, eyewitnesses, I say. And these stories of these documentary that they had with the mothership, people are writing their own stories. Like Travis. I don't know if y'all seen the episode of him being abducted by The motherships. I'm gonna tell y'all something, y'all. Why they are here to destroy this world, and why you will see more induction. Because the children's that been missing here in the United States, they're gonna be more induction. But the mother planes is here to induct these people from all the trouble they did. That's the reason why, brothers, they are seeing the mothership. So some people are experiencing being abducted. I'm not here to scare you, but I'm here not to confuse you, but they are here. They are here, y'all. And just as Trump is making a law to deploy military and send immigration where they want to go, now let's think. These motherships is here. These aliens, extraterrestrial life is here. And the government is keeping this a secret. But there's multiple eyewitnesses saying that their own people have been abducted. Now, God ain't playing no games here. The more evil they do, the more Trump will continue to deploy militants. And now they fighting with Haitians. Let's think about when the motherships is here. Let's think about these people will be abducted, going somewhere they don't want to go. Now, prove to me that I'm a liar. Let's go. In Ezekiel vision, concerning this will, he says that he heard this voice of one tell the others to take coal of fire and to scatter over the cities. This means bombs. It can mean fire too, however. The plan is to drop bombs will ultimately be timed to boil quickly to a position of 1 mile below the surface of the earth, where our time to explore. Allah God has taught me that these bombs are not to be dropped into the water. They are to be dropped only on the cities. You see, it will be the work of the will. The will is the power of the 4 creatures, namely the 4 colors of the black man, the black, brown, yellow, and red. The red Indians is the benefit also for the judgment of the world. We must remember that God comes to separate the righteous, that which is hindering the righteous, from making progress, and to destroy the effect of the poison that which has opposed the righteous. The effect of the poison will be fully destroyed at the destruction of the source of the poison which has poisoned the righteous. And just like one being bitten by a rattlesnake, quickly medication is administered in order to minimize the effect of the poison upon flesh and blood until a complete cure is effected and the patient is well again. It is useless to try to ignore Ezekiel vision of the will, for the make and destructive works of the will was foretold before it came to pass. The disbelievers believe that which we see present, and that which is prophesied to come. That is why he is the losers and takes the course of hell, because he disbelieved in that which is prophesied to come about in a particular day. This is why the enemy is trying to do today with this black man. He's fascinating him with sport and play, and the doing of evil to keep him from going to the God who is present. You never thought the day would come when you see your wife, mother, or old grave-headed woman walking down the streets today, half nude. A few years ago, they would not have dared to come out to the public like that. But now we see they do so because the devil has put his improve on this kind of entire. The desire to please the devil. They do whatever the devil bid them to do. The devil desired to take this black man with him to his doom. Let us not classify the prophet as liars and ignore the prophecy. For we may cause ourselves destruction through belief in the devil instead of the belief in the God of righteousness. There's no equal of the mother plane. This is the reason why she is called the mother plane. See, the mother plane is made for the purpose of destroying this present world. She has no equal. Now, do not be surprised, my brothers and sisters, at the make of this plane, since it is from the God who made the universe of floating planets and stars, which are supported only by the power of Allah and their rotations and their orbit.